We're going to be talking about
Is he your
story.
Is he a good?
It's my channel.
Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Janet.
My name is Christian, and I'm Janet's husband.
Yes, that's my husband. And as you can tell from the title for today, we're going to be talking about my daughter's birth story. I was going to say something. Yeah, my daughter's birth story. So yeah, hopefully it's not going to be too long. And yeah, so let's just get stuck in. Before we get into the actual detail of the story of the birth, just to give a little bit of context for the pregnancy and what kind of pregnancy I had. So obviously a lot of you know, if you're watching here from Instagram, that I suffered from HG on my first trimester. HG, I'll probably put that somewhere on the screen somewhere. So that was my first trimester, but then towards like my second trimester, I was told by the doctors that we were dealing with a case of IUGR. I'll put the details of that somewhere on the screen. So basically what that is that it's basically when your baby's on the smaller side, according to like regular studies and stuff like that these doctors and medics do. Our baby girl was falling below average according to the national like sizing of babies. I'm butchering that, but yeah, I'll put some information down below somewhere so you can kind of refer to it and find the real meaning of that. But yeah, long story short, she was measuring small. And so that in turn made us like not high risk, but a little bit high risk. So my pregnancy was low risk, but because of her size, especially towards the end, we had to go to hospital frequently, like so often. And obviously that was a bit annoying because we're in the pandemic, and it was just very anxious times. Anyways, let's just get into the story. So that's basically the context of my pregnancy, of the kind of pregnancy I had, just to let you know. So anyway, so I go and see this consultant at this new hospital, okay? And he's like, okay, I've seen the baby and everything, I've seen your files, and from what I can see, the baby's really, really small, and I'm really, really concerned. We want to get her out at 38 weeks. So now, bearing in mind I'm around 36 weeks, so he wants to get her out around 38 weeks. These times it's like December time, isn't it? It's like December, yeah. And so he's around December-ish times. So this means that if I went ahead with that induction at 38 weeks, it would be around like early January, and I just wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready.
January the 6th.
No, 5th.
Oh, 5th.
5th.
Yeah.
It was the 5th of January. Yeah. I remember that so much. Oh my gosh. Always planned to have a natural birth, simply because my firstborn son Jesse, he came naturally and it was fine. Literally, the pregnancy was pretty much fine, and the labour and birth was very normal. No interventions, nothing. No complications, nothing. It was normal. So I already knew in my mind that I could definitely give birth again. I can do it again. Yes, it's hard, but I can do it again. Do you know what I mean? I can have it naturally. So bearing in mind, I was having like constant scans, like every other week, every couple of days I was having a scan because she was small. So I'm just in and out of this hospital, so I declined the induction on the 5th of Jan.
It was a hard decision because...
It was hard! Because
one part, you felt like the advice you're being given is that let's get the baby out because it's actually safer. That's what they were saying.
Yeah.
Or it's better. But for us, we felt like we want the baby to actually at least grow, and we don't want to we just wanted the baby to have enough time to develop and then let her come out at the right time. So it was a hard decision because we had to make a decision whether to say yes, follow the advice we've been given, or to actually just go with your instinct. And I think instinct was telling us wait for a bit.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's true. Yeah. So we kind of wanted to wait, so we pushed it back as much as possible. Then we had another scan. There was one scan that we had that kind of made me feel like, okay, let's do the induction.
What was that? Which one was that?
It was the one where they checked her, and bear in mind she was okay. Like there was never times where there was any distress or anything like that. She was okay, but there was one time when they scanned her and they were saying that the placenta, it seemed like the fluid is decreasing.
Oh yeah.
The fluid is decreasing, and they said that it seems that also that she's getting a bit tight.
Yeah. So this was actually the final, well, closer to the actual birth.
Closer to that.
So this was on a Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
And then they gave us a provisional date for the Tuesday.
Then they gave us a date for the following Tuesday.
Yeah.
So this is now, by these times, I'm now 39 weeks pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got the induction for Tuesday. It's now Monday, and these times it was Monday evening, and I'm just accepting that we're gonna go for the induction. This is it. This is what the Lord would have us do. We're gonna get induced tomorrow.
Yeah. Bear in mind, I think on Sunday evening, you started to feel some sort of, is it Braxton?
Yeah. So Sunday in the morning, when I woke up in the morning on Sunday, I started to feel like very dull, like kind of period pains, but it wasn't intense at all. It just felt like, okay, I haven't felt this kind of feeling in months, and I'm feeling this kind of, but I just left it. I just thought maybe because I ate something spicy the night before, or maybe I was doing too much. I just thought it was something like that. I didn't think it was actually my body getting ready for labour. So anyways, that was Sunday morning when I woke up, and then the next day was Monday. And then, like I said, in the evening we were getting ready, so I was packing my hospital bag. Well, I've packed it already. I packed it at 32 weeks, but I was just putting in the last finishing touches and stuff like that. My Lucozade, my pair of socks and things like that. I was popping that in the bag. Make sure we had everything for Milana and everything in the baby girl in the bag. So we're doing all those last finishing touches Monday evening, and I remember around 9 o'clock, I just felt something. So I felt like my first contraction. Obviously now I know it was a contraction, but it was just like pain. So I just felt that, and I was like, okay. And I remembered that I had the same pain about like 10-15 minutes ago. So I remember looking at the time thinking, okay, let me keep an eye on the time now, because I've had this pain before and it's coming again. Let me keep an eye on the time. So I looked and it was 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock I had this pain. It came again 9:10. It came again 9:20. It came again 9:30, came again 9:40ish, and then 9:50, and then it stopped. So I was like, oh, okay, when I go into labour, naturally when I go. So anyway, we were just like, and I was tired.
Sleeping.
No, you wasn't sleeping. You were ready to what? You were chilling. He was chilling. He was acting like we ain't having no baby tomorrow. I was the one panicking and packing the bag and everything. He was so chilled, and I remember just like I think you were like, yeah, come sit down. Let's go and let's watch a film. And I was like, film, care. I'm going to have a baby tomorrow. You say film. So I remember just being like, nah. In fact, I think at this point I was just really, really tired, and I just remember being very anxious around that time as well. Being anxious around maybe a couple of days before that time. I was just very anxious because of everything the doctors were telling me about her. So I think we just, I was like, let's go to bed. So around 10, we just went to bed. When I finished with my bag, just went to bed. So that night I did not sleep, but I did sleep, but I was having contractions. And they were irregular. So I must say that they were irregular contractions all through the night. I was having these contractions in my sleep. They would wake me up a little bit, but they weren't that intense that they would get me up and I couldn't go back to sleep. But I was feeling them. And to the point where I was dreaming about contractions. I was dreaming it. Oh, it was horrible. But anyway, so I was able to sleep, but around 5 a.m, sorry, I got up and I that's when I couldn't sleep. I just felt like I've slept enough, and I just couldn't sleep through the contractions anymore. So I went to the living room and I just sat there really, and then eventually I kind of got my notes together and my pregnancy, my, what do you call it, my birth notes or whatever you call it. But yeah, I got my file together and I just started to call the midwife and just tell them what I was experiencing. And they were like, it seems like, you are starting something, but just keep an eye, because at the end of the day I did say that they were irregular contractions. There was no pattern, there was, so they weren't really like, oh yeah, come in, they weren't really like that. They were just like, because they knew that she was small, they just said, you know, labour at home. However, if you feel like you want to come in to be monitored, for her to be monitored, sorry, then come in. So I was like, these contractions are a bit irregular. It's my second time, so I'm not as panicked, I'm not as scared, like I feel like I know what I'm doing. So I just left it. So that's when you woke up.
So all that happened whilst I was asleep?
No, you were...
What?
No, you woke up quite a few times.
Yeah.
To be honest, he wasn't just sleeping throughout the whole thing. You woke up quite a few times. But when I went into the living room, you were asleep.
Right.
You only heard me because I was on the phone.
Okay, it was in the morning. Okay.
Yeah, in the morning. So you only heard me when I got on the phone. That's when he came up. He was like, "What's going on?" kind of thing. And I was like, "Yeah." I told him what was happening. So then, and thankfully enough, I didn't actually say Jessie was not at home. So because we knew we were going to have the induction on the Tuesday, so the Monday during the day we took him over to his grandma, so he wasn't with us. So it was just us two. And so at this point, you were like, okay, let's just ride it out. Like, obviously I told him that it was irregular. I didn't really want to go in the hospital yet. So he was like, okay, let's sleep for about an hour or two and then we'll go for a walk. And since we're having, so this is now Tuesday morning. So since we're having the induction anyway on that Tuesday, let's just make the most of it and just enjoy it before we go for the induction. So he was just like, let's sleep for an hour or two, go for a walk, get breakfast, and then we'll just go in, kind of thing. So I was like, okay, you know, whatever. And I didn't really mind. So like, I didn't think I would go into labour from these contractions that I was experiencing. I was just happy that something was happening, that my body was getting ready. I was actually happy that something was happening. I just kind of, I didn't want to go to the hospital to be induced and my womb was just closed shut. I didn't want that. I didn't want to go there and literally like just shot. I wanted to go there and at least be 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, a bit soft, you know. That's really what I wanted. So I was happy that even though my contractions were irregular, I was happy that something was happening. So anyway, so we went back to sleep. Well, I didn't sleep because the contractions were just at this point they were keeping me up. But you slept, and then so about 8 o'clock we kind of got up. Yeah, it's okay now. It's fine. So about 8 o'clock we got up, and then I was just pacing it around the house, walking around, got my birthing ball out.
Up and down the stairs.
Up and down the stairs, like just trying to really get baby down so that the contractions would become irregular and established. So then you were like, okay, because we had to cook, we had to go in for the induction anyway in the morning. So you were like, okay, let's have some breakfast and let's just get ready and go. So that's what we did. So we had some breakfast and then we just got ready, went to Tesco's, got a few things. And then we headed to the hospital. Yeah. And then, so when we got to the hospital, that's when it just felt like, oh, what's about to happen? And got to the hospital and we got our bay. And if you don't know with inductions, that you don't just go to the hospital and have your induction straight away. You kind of have to wait. So, you know, we were in a ward and we were being monitored and then we just had to wait till there was a bed available on the labour ward. Now, we were just so happy to finally see our daughter. Bearing in mind, like I was just so anxious weeks before this day because there was just so much they were saying to me about my daughter and her size and this and that and that and this. So it was just such an anxious time towards the end of my pregnancy. So I was really excited to kind of just like end this, like, yeah, she's coming now. Yeah, I remember that. So yeah, and then we went to hospital, and like, if you don't know, it takes hours before you really, typically it takes hours before you get your bed and start the induction process. So we were just chilling, and then I think at one point, yeah, so it was like maybe 2 hours in or 3 hours in that we were waiting, and we were just like, we just looked at each other and we were just like, let's go for a walk, man. We decided that we're going to go for a walk and just walk around the hospital. Bearing in mind, I was having irregular contractions already, so I even when we were waiting at the hospital, I think I would have like 1 or 2 contractions or something like that. So I just thought, do you know what, let's try and get this regular. And so he was like, yeah, let's walk around, let's do it ourselves, kind of thing. Not expecting that it would work, but anyway. So we walked around the hospital for a bit, like we were just walking around, just walking. I remember us going up these stairs, so like, instead of getting the lifts, we were going up like flights of stairs, and I remember just like lunging like down the stairs, like hopping down the stairs and stuff.
People were looking at us walking.
She's looking at me, and she's looking at me like, are you okay? And I'm like, obviously in pain. In pain. So she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay, but you know, I think my contractions are, you know. So she was like, okay, well, that's good. Let's get you to the room. Let's get this induction started, and yeah, just say, let's take it from there, kind of thing. So we've got to the room now, on the labour ward, and they were obviously going to induce me, but they can see that I'm already kind of like, I'm already in labour. I didn't think, you know, I was just wondering like how far, you know, you just don't know. So I was happy to see that I was actually progressing. So it's not active labour yet, but at least I was progressing. So I was thinking, okay, 3 centimetres. I think this was around, this is around 5:40. So I've got some times, if in case I look down, I've got like things noted down, because I really wanted to give the exact time and date. Because this time, yeah, with my first one, I didn't know time, I didn't know what was happening. But this time, I made sure I looked at the time and stuff like that. And
actually, don't forget, at 3 centimetres, the lady did the sweep.
She didn't do the sweep at that point.
She did. That's what got them faster.
Oh, okay. Okay, so see, this is why I need him here, because I don't remember all these details. I'm just dealing with the pain. So I'm somewhere else. So she was like, oh yeah, you know, you're already progressing. We might not need to do the induction. However, yeah, let's just start with, because there's so many steps to an induction. She was like, let's just start with the sweep. Since you're already 3 centimetres, let me check you. She checked me, I'm 3 centimetres, and then she's like, okay, while I'm here, let me do the sweep. Right? Yeah. So she does a sweep, and that wasn't painful or anything like that. It wasn't painful. I was really dreading the sweep, but it wasn't painful because I think because I'd already progressed a little bit, so it was fine. Yeah. So I did the sweep, and that was it. It was go time. That was it. From there, it was go time. I remember just labouring, and he was the most amazing birth partner. Let me tell you, yeah. Like, it was teamwork. There's no way I would have given birth on my own without his help. Like, it was just not gonna happen. Like, no. So he was really, I feel like him being there, and we did like birth courses together and stuff, which really helped prepare me.
I was meant to watch a few videos in preparation.
So hypnobirthing, I'm gonna plug that in here. Hypnobirthing is amazing. Like, we did a particular course that we did was the Positive Birth Company course. I think that's what it's called. I'll put the details somewhere, and explored hypnobirthing. Same thing that I explored with my firstborn. Hypnobirthing just really is just the one when it comes to giving birth for me. I feel like it really helps me get far in my labour without pain medication and being really controlled. Anyway, that's another video. So yeah, and then so she's giving me the sweep, and my body's like obviously responding, and my body's getting ready for labor, like, you know, for the baby to come. Now I'm you know, the pain's really intense, so I'm like, okay, I need pain relief, and then I asked for paracetamol, didn't I?
Yeah.
I asked for paracetamol.
She gave you something else.
And she gave me paracetamol, and then I remember when she left the room to go and get the paracetamol, I experienced another contraction, and it was super painful. I was like, nah. para what? And then she came back and she was like, because she was like, I could give you paracetamol plus this other diamorph, something like that. I don't know what it was, but it was something similar or maybe a bit stronger than paracetamol. She goes, I can give you that with the paracetamol to make, to help with the pain. I was like, yeah, just give it to me, yeah. And then I took it, not long, give it 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Vomited everything out.
Oh yeah.
I vomited everything.
And nobody was prepared.
No one was prepared. But also crazy is that
know?
I vomited with Jessie, my firstborn. I vomited during labour.
You did, yeah.
So I really thought that. Fair enough, they wouldn't have known, but I really thought that, well, no one could prepare, to be honest, but I should have known. I should have told them, get something close by so in case I need to vomit. So anyway, I really tried. Oh my gosh, I knew I said I need to vomit, Chris, I need to vomit. And then he tells the midwife, because she's not in the room, he tells the midwife, he calls her and she comes, and then she goes, she's like, okay, she leaves the room, goes to get like what the pail thing, the thingy thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my days, like I'm trying to hold this vomit down because I don't want to vomit everywhere and be that person, but nobody was prepared, so I vomited everywhere. Didn't I stood off the bed. I tried to not go on the bed, but I came off the bed and I vomited on the floor. That went everywhere, and then I vomited a little bit on the bed. Yeah. Because I had a contraction while I was vomiting.
Yeah. And the lady, God bless her, she was literally cleaning up.
She literally got on her hands and knees and cleaned all the
vomit. That's a midwife. So that's
nice part of what they need to do, isn't it? Who else is going to clean it?
That's true.
It's dangerous, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, thankfully she cleaned everything on the floor, so that went really quickly, and then so I'm still having my contractions, and at this point they were intense. I'm like, I'm trying to breathe, but I'm like, my jaw is shaking, like, and I'm like, oh my day, I just want to go home. Yeah. I just want to quit this, pause. I just want to time out. I want to go home. I'm not ready, literally, but you can't. You have to ride it out. So I remember he was helping me a lot, giving me those words of affirmation and really helping me get through each contraction. But at this point, I was really, really just like, I'm feeling it now. I really can't take it.
And we're monitoring it as well.
Yeah. So we're using the app to monitor my contractions, right? Yeah. So at this point, I'm just like, I can't do this. No, I didn't say that I can't do this, but I just felt like, I'm losing control. So we get the midwife and we're like, gas and air. Just get me gas and air, please. Get me my gas and air. And I remember from that gas, when I had that gas and air, that was it. Janet left the room. I was not in that room anymore. I was not there. I left. I was high as a kite, and I was just taking that gas and air. And from this point onwards,
it becomes a bit blurry.
So this is where you kind of come in. But I do remember in my mind, I was telling my mind, even though I was high and on the gas and air, I was telling myself, Janet, like, try and stay present. Which is really hard to do when you're on gas and air because you're high. But I remember because I had experienced taking gas and air with my son, I knew what it was like, and I knew that you can just really just go off. But I really want to be present. I just really wanted to be present. So I remember even though
I think you were though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I was still kind of like communicating.
Yeah,
I remember still like telling you guys check me. I think she's coming. Yeah. Even though I was high, I remember saying stuff like, like kind of responding here and there to things that you guys were telling me to do and stuff like that. Whereas I didn't do that with my son. But don't get me wrong, I was high. I was telling him that I was in the field. I was chasing leaves in the field somewhere, and it was mad. But so this time now I'm on all fours. I forgot to say, all this time when I was labouring, I was on my birthing ball in the room. I was walking around the hospital. I was walking around the room, and we forgot to say that we had set up the room for hypnobirthing. So we dimmed the lights, and blessed midwife, she was so lovely. She got me a speaker so that we can put my spa playlist on, because I had a spa playlist on in the background, which was really, really relaxing. We got my little candles, well, not real candles, but tea lights, pot them all around the room to make it kind of like nice and calming and that kind of stuff, and which he helped me do. And then going back to gas and air, I was now on the bed, but I was on all fours. I made sure that I didn't want to lie down, which is what I did with my son. And this time it was just amazing. Like, gravity just really took over, took control. I think there was 2 points where I felt like she was coming. There was one before which was premature. She was not coming. She was not coming. But there's another time where I feel like she's coming. She wasn't coming still, but I was now closer. So I was 7 centimeters. When they checked me, I was 7 centimeters, and I was like, I feel like she's, you know, can you check me? I feel like she's coming. But I was 7 centimeters. But I think I was definitely progressing very, 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 very quickly, because from when she checked me when I was 7 centimeters, like, it was not long, maybe like 20 minutes later, because this was now around like 7-ish. It was around 7-ish. I was 7 centimeters, and then next thing, she comes out and she's born, and she was born at 7:40.
Yeah. So yeah, after they confirmed that you were 7 centimeters, you were obviously out of it, but we're still trying to communicate with you in terms of we left you for a bit laying on your back after she checked you. Then the lady was
laying on my back?
Yeah, just for a little bit.
Oh.
Because they were still kind of waiting. I was like, I told the lady, the midwife, is it okay for her to go on all fours? And she's like, yeah, anytime. Then we literally were like, Janet, you know, do you want to go on all fours? Do you want to go, should we put you on all fours? And I was trying to help you. They start, I think your contractions became intense. So one contraction that you had, which was quite long and very intense, caused the water to break. So you just had one long contraction, and then before you know, I was just looking, and just water just splashed everywhere. I was like, wow. And and the midwives were obviously saying, you know, it's now time. So I think the good thing is that every contraction that you had was actually one step closer, which is what I was saying to you, one step closer to meeting our baby. So after the water broke, it was maybe 3 contractions more until the baby came out.
Oh wow.
So it was like 1 or 2.
It was quick.
It was quick. It was quick. So, and then from there, I think that they could see the head. I couldn't see much because I was still trying to comfort you whilst you're on all fours. And then,
like a good husband,
when I tried to look, it was like I have to go all the way down to look, because also you're kind of bent over. So yeah, so literally the ladies were like, just start pushing. So every contraction you were pushing, and I was trying to, you know, hold you and encourage you. And then one final contraction, you know, pushed, baby came out. So I'm like, I looked over, I couldn't see the baby, because obviously she's on all fours. I looked over, I couldn't see the baby, and the midwife must have came and brought the baby underneath from the way she was, you know,
between my legs.
Between your legs. I was like, wow, baby's here. Oh my, I could not believe it. It was just so quick. The final push was just like, baby's here. And I was like, well done. You did really well. I was just there to support, but you did all the hard work. Yeah, you know, it was a wonderful experience, I would say, because I felt very connected to you. And just seeing our little baby girl come out, it was beautiful.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, that was it really. So that was the experience, and in total active labour was about an hour and 30 minutes. It was less than 2 hours. Yeah, barely 2 hours, which is really, really quick, and I was very happy because it was intense. It was quick, but it was intense. And I remember even after she came out, my body was shaking, but yeah, I was fine. I was just like, it was just so quick. But yeah, it was amazing, and she's here. Obviously, you've seen her through the video. Yep. Big girl. Okay, so the video cut off because it's a long story and the battery died. However, we did get through to the end of the story, so that should suffice. And so that's my story. That's my birth story with a baby girl and my second child. I did want to talk more about explore hypnobirthing, because I did have a birth, but I didn't kind of explore that because there's just so much other things I wanted to touch on in the story. So I will be doing more videos talking about hypnobirthing, talking about breastfeeding, and how I managed to do it this time around, especially because I didn't do it the last time around, and what's changed and stuff like that. So yeah, there'll be more videos to come, especially around pregnancy and birth and stuff like that, so stick around. And yeah, please don't forget to subscribe and just like and share and comment. Yeah, I'd really appreciate that. But yeah, take care and see you video.